Good morning. My name is Latonya Rogers, and I am a Family Self-Sufficiency Coordinator. I am here today with one of my clients, Ms. Feeney Twamakumo, who is on her way to home ownership. Ms. Feeney, welcome, and thank you for joining us. Share with us a little bit about your success with the FSS program.
Well, I started the FSS program back in June of 2014. I knew my goal was home ownership, and I had a vision. Now, my vision was supposed to happen within 3 months. That's not the reality. It's a process to do anything. So I met with Ms. Rogers, and we did a FSS application, and I was approved, thankfully. And through that process, I had to get my credit up to par. My credit was not up to par. So with due diligence, with saving, that's through classes. FSS provides you home ownership classes. They provide you motivational tools. They provide you ways. Quizzle. I had never heard of Quizzle before meeting with Ms. Rogers. Credit Sesame. These were all places I could get my credit score for free without having to pay a site or without having to have my card charged 30 days later because I forgot to cancel a subscription. I had a goal in mind, and I wanted to follow that goal. I wanted to reach that goal. And FSS has laid it out for me that I could take steps. You have to crawl before you walk sometimes. Sometimes we want to take off running, but we have to take steps in order to do the process. Right now, I'm currently working with NACA, which is Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America, and then through them, in conjunction with the Housing Authority, I will be paying less in mortgage than I was with rent.
Tell us a little bit about how the Credit Coalition assisted you in improving your scores and about the work that you had to do in order to get your scores where they needed to be.
I got an IDA account, which is an individual development account through Covenant Community Capital. What they do is they offer a match savings program, and they offer this match for education purposes, small business loans, and to provide home ownership. I knew my goal was home ownership. They make you take 6 weeks of intensive classes to help build credit and home ownership. It teaches you valuable banking tools. So a lot of people in Houston do not even have access to a checking account or are paying exorbitant fees to get their checks cashed and stuff like that. So they teach you tips on how to save. They teach you to save every receipt, every single dollar, every single receipt. You need to know that 75 cents I'm spending every morning for coffee. At 75 cents at the end of the month adds up to maybe a bill. So it makes you realize these things when you are in the process. So I got an IDA account, and they matched whatever I put in there. And it taught me how to save, because you are required to save monthly for these goals. So you can't just skip a month and say, I don't feel like saving this month. You have a goal, and that's what you have to keep in mind, is that your goal. So I went through 6 classes through the Credit Coalition, and then I received a home buyer education certificate. After receiving that home buyer education certificate, they also provide workshops, just workshops in general about healthy living, and that's another thing I like. It just doesn't say, well, we're only focusing on home ownership, or we're only focusing on education. It tries to focus on the whole person, healthy living, healthy eating habits, stress management. So there are various things that try to encompass the general health and well-being of the whole person.
Very good. Now, I know that you mentioned there were some sacrifices that you had to make, and how the Family Self-Sufficiency has helped you with that. Most of our clients that enter the home ownership program are looking to provide a better life for their families. What is your ultimate goal through the Family Self-Sufficiency Program with regards to home ownership?
That's my main goal, my family. I have 3 small children. Well, they're not small anymore, I guess. But my main goal is that I know I have a child who's going to be entering college in 4 years. And I want it to be stable in a home. Let him have a sense of a home, at least before he got off and went to college. And start learning how to save for his college. I want him to go to college and come out debt free, and that is my goal. My goal is to provide an education for my children so they can further their education. It's all stepping stones. Me doing well in turn makes them gonna do well. In turn makes their children gonna do well. In turn makes their children gonna do well. So if we can start a good positive cycle, it's gonna end the negativity that's going on.
Very good. You mentioned that Family Self-Sufficiency Program really assisted you in reaching your goals. If you could share something with our future clients who are maybe interested in the Family Self-Sufficiency Program, what would you say to them?
I would say to them, get to know your case manager, because you are going to need he or she. I cannot tell you how many emails or how many times I've called, Ms. Rogers, I need so-and-so, or Ms. Rogers, what do I do next? And she has been right there for me. She will drop everything to call me, to meet with me, and she has numerous other clients. But I just feel like what I have received from Ms. Rogers, Mr. Hudspeth, and everyone in turn, I've received the benefit. It's hard to explain, because they don't really know that they've changed not only my life, but the life of my 3 children. And I would just want everyone to know that FSS is a great program if you work it. And anything worth having is worth fighting for. You have to work. That's why it's called work. It's worth having. And then at the end, you can look back and say, I worked hard for that. And look what I accomplished. I accomplished my goal.
Well, Ms. Feeney Twamakuma, we'd like to thank you for being a part of the Family
Thank
Self-Sufficiency
you.
Program. We'd also like to congratulate you on entering home ownership. We
Thank
understand that
you.
you will soon be closing on your new home, and we're just glad to have played a role in your home ownership process.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.